The champ is here.
We will definitely not shut up and dribble.
The champ is here. I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
Bad man. I shook up the world.
Facts. I'm a bad man. Hey, welcome. Hey, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with we. Hey, I'm EJ and I got my man.
MH.
Yeah, he's my lockdown quarter, man. Make sure everything's clear back there. We are Black in Sports, but we're giving a voice to the culture. We will not shut up and dribble. All right. So here we interview the dopest professionals in the game and in the boardroom. We're covering it all, laughing at it all, and providing a platform to be heard. So today, without further ado, okay, today we have a Southern Belle with us, okay? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
She's the queen of guest services. Yeah, she's giggling because she knows she's going to make it right. She's here to bring a little black girl magic to us, all right? And she's got that hot sauce in her bag swag. So, hey, without further ado, we got my girl, my love, Ebony Wilson's in the house.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know, I had to do it though. Ebony and Ivory lived. No, okay. Hey, we're gonna jump right in. The first question we usually hit them with. All right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Already?
Already. We get right into it. No, you got to get ready.
Oh,
Let's go.
okay.
We got something in front of you, so that
I'm
should
ready.
help ease any kind of
Ready.
fluidness
Right there.
you need, right?
Ready.
All right. Tell us a time, okay, in life, could draw from anything where you shot your shot. It could be anything where you went all out.
Oh, man. Let me see. I mean, I think I do that on a regular basis.
Okay.
Like, you have to understand, you know, when you're a woman, period,
Yeah.
you're always underestimated. People are always trying you. So, you know, you got to go into situations confident and at a moment's notice, be ready to shoot your shot. Like, no matter what that is, whether it's work, whether it's personal, you got to be ready at all times. So I stay on the ready to shoot my shot.
Okay. Hot sauce in the bag swag. She ready.
Like, again, like when you hit me up about this, you were like, I was like, oh, wait, what? Oh, okay. I mean, I wasn't expecting that, but let's do it. Like, I'm here for it.
Game.
I'm here for it.
So, all right, then, with that in mind, taking that through your situation, just what is your connection with sports? Like, you know, we know where you are now. We're going to get to that. But what's your, like, connection with sports? How was that first love kind of brought together?
Honestly, it's very weird because if you ask my mother, she'll tell you she doesn't know where I came from because she is not a sports fan at all. I
Really?
mean, she not even a little bit. I mean, she follows stuff now only because of what I do and the fact that I have a son that played football and basketball, so she follows it now.
Okay.
A little bit, but that was never her thing.
Brothers or sisters? You have brothers or sisters?
I do. I have two brothers. They enjoy sports, but they didn't play.
Okay.
You know, they like teams. One brother more than the other. One of my brothers is kind of more into MMA, boxing. The other one, he's a basketball, football guy. But here is her daughter, and she's like, yeah, I don't know. That's really weird. You're odd. And I'm like, okay, ma, love you too. But yeah, I mean, ever since I was younger, I ran track in high school, and
Okay.
I was also a cheerleader. So
What was the event in track?
oh, I was a sprinter, baby.
Okay,
So I did. Yeah, I was a sprinter.
Okay.
Not long distance.
100,
Look,
200?
Let's go. 100, 200, 400,
Well,
4x4, 4x8.
all right, what leg were you going to 4x4?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, right?
Those 4x4, that's a real race.
That's
man.
a real race.
That 4x4 is a real race.
That's a real
What leg? Like, what leg were you?
So I was either first leg or I was fourth leg.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. I had
So you was the real deal.
Yeah, I had speed. I had speed. It was a thing.
She said no jokes.
It was a thing. I had speed with me.
Yeah. When I ran track, I ran the second leg. I think I might have been the slow leg on the team. But that's a real race, though. That's
No,
that's the real deal.
it's a real race.
Yeah,
And
when I ran track, I
that
threw
4x8.
shot put, though. So,
Yeah,
this gets-
that was
Listen,
You're not even on the regular field. You
No,
you
y'all
back
lost-
behind,
yeah.
back over there.
behind the trees and over there.
y'all off
Over
to
the
the side
distance.
with the little net in front of you. We like, what they doing over there?
yeah, that's where I was at with it.
I got the barbecue smoke coming from the. Are y'all competing over there, or what y'all
Fish
doing?
fries over in the corner. Boombox.
Serious. It was serious. And so I was not into hurdles at all. And I
Okay.
can tell you, I remember the first time they made me try to do hurdles. Let me tell you, that back foot got caught on that hurdle, and we had a gravel track.
Ooh.
Lord have mercy. Scraped my pretty little knees all up.
So you had a gravel
All
track.
up.
You grew up in North Carolina, right?
No, actually, I'm originally from New York.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. Now that you say that, because
Mhm.
you and BB on. Okay.
I originally,
right.
I'm from New York, and I went to high school in Connecticut. Actually, Brian McMahon High School in
Okay.
Norwalk, Connecticut.
Okay.
So that's where I ran at.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a gravel track. It was not pretty when I hit that
So-
back foot.
So the transition from Connecticut then
Mhm.
to the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, how did that come about?
So actually, my grandparents were still living in New York, and like right as I was graduating high school in '97, I think it was in '96. My mom and like her brothers and sisters, my aunts and uncles decided to move my grandparents down to North Carolina,
Okay.
and I was a young woman with a child.
Okay.
But I still, had aspirations to go to college and
Right.
graduate. So we decided that it would be a great option for me to go down to North Carolina to go to school where I would have some family support. And there was actually a college that was starting a program that supported young mothers with children.
Oh,
Big
wow.
time.
So yeah, it was actually at North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina, and that's
Okay.
where my grandparents were.
Okay.
So we decided that would be kind of the path for me. So went down there, started school out there as a freshman. And then kind of shortly into it, my grandmother passed 3 years. I was about 3 years in, and she passed. And so, like, right at that time, my mom decided she would move down to North Carolina, but she decided to move to Charlotte instead of Durham.
Okay.
So she moved to Charlotte, and so I ended up moving to Charlotte, and that's how I got to.
So your mom likes the big cities, or is that why Charlotte?
Well,
I know Durham's a little smaller.
her profession,
Okay.
basically it was a better market for her to move to Charlotte versus Durham.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got family in North Carolina in the Raleigh area.
Oh, okay.
Raleigh area,
So you know that area.
I do know it.
Yeah.
Down to Fayetteville kind of area.
Oh,
down
yeah.
Vietnam.
You know about Vietnam then. Look.
It's a little too much.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Yeah.
Look. So wait a minute. When was you down
Uh-oh.
in that area? Let's
clarify.
So yeah. So my parents were they actually still own a home in Fayetteville.
Okay.
Down in that got to be 2006 time frame.
Okay,
About
all right.
2000. Yeah. Okay. What happened
what's the-
before
yeah,
that?
what's the-
Yeah.
Just making sure.
What
I
happened?
was down there from like 97,
Okay.
97, 98 to about 2000,
I mean, I see
2001.
the way you turning your head.
So all I'm going to say is I am grateful for the fact that I grew up at a time when social media was not a thing.
Boy,
Okay.
same.
There are no videos. There are no photographs.
Hey.
We are good because if you know anything about that triangle area over there,
Yeah.
that Raleigh,
Mhm.
Durham,
Mhm.
Chapel Hill,
Mhm.
add in that Greensboro area. Let me tell you something. There's enough colleges
Hold on. So
in
is
that area to be a problem.
So during that time, is that when they was calling you like the gene killer?
Huh? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Ooh.
you want to just defer to that one? Huh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. No.
Look, I don't know what you're
Do
talking
tell.
about. I don't.
Hey, just
We're not even gonna talk about those.
Okay, so
those things.
I guess that's when the videos and the Instagram and all that wasn't there. So.
No. Hey, listen. You don't have any proof. Anything that someone says is hearsay.
Hearsay. Okay, we'll take it
And
at that.
I can combat that all day.
All right, so now that makes sense because when you were talking, you said you were a Mets fan, so that was
Mhm.
during the time when you were a little jit. That's where that came from.
Yes.
So who brought that? Who was the Mets fan in the household? Or...
So my mom's right. I'm an odd child. We were actually at a Subway Series game, Yankees Mets.
Yep.
Entire family is Yankee fans. I believe I might have had on a Yankee shirt. Daryl Strawberry was playing.
Okay.
And I
Shout
don't
out to Joe Strawberry.
listen, I don't know what it was, but I was like, I like him
Yeah.
and I like that team.
Yeah.
I like the blue and orange team. That's my team. And my family's like, no, it's not. We're Yankee fans. I was like, no, I don't like that one. I want the blue and orange team.
So,
So
does that blue and orange go to like basketball too?
no, it does not.
Oh, dang.
It does
Okay.
not.
Thought
But yeah,
we had an ally.
That's a you thing.
Well, I thought I had an ally.
no. So yeah, I've been a Mets fan since I can remember, and literally everybody else in my family is Yankee fans.
Did you have
I'm the odd duckling when it comes to that.
Interesting. So so
Yeah, my
Panthers
team,
fan.
Panthers fan. My
So-
teams
so
are all
what's-
over
what's-
the
What
place.
about
basketball?
Carolina Duke?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
before-
yes,
that's
yes.
Carolina
Hit
thing. Which
Carolina
one?
Duke. Yeah.
What?
Mm. You gotta make a
Nope.
choice.
Listen,
Hey,
no.
someone who
NC
came,
State
someone
don't
who
count,
came in
so-
here with, right. You can't choose that one. That's
Don't
out.
tell NC State fans that. They don't like that.
That's true. That's
They
true.
look. They count.
As she
They
makes
count.
faces.
They can't see my face.
Yes, they can. You on camera. You forgot that, right?
Mm-mm.
Already.
Look,
But,
they matter. So, listen, I didn't grow up in North Carolina, so
Okay.
I didn't have to pick a side.
Yeah.
We went.
Backpedaling.
I went to North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina. We was smack dab in the middle of the two, so it
Okay.
was whoever had the better party that day.
There
Yeah,
you
that
go.
was who we liked. But I mean, I had friends that went to Carolina. I had friends that went to Duke. I have diehard Carolina friends and diehard Duke fans. Like
But you remain neutral.
I'm like, I don't really care. But it's a really good game. It's a wonderful rivalry. If you're ever down in that area, even if you don't get to go to the game, just to be in either one, whether
sure.
you're in Chapel Hill
Mhm.
or in Durham during the game, listen, it's
For sure.
ridiculous. The energy is it's amazing.
Nice.
And again, I think it's a good thing there were not any videos. I'm gonna say that
There you go.
because some of those after parties or some of those,
Went down.
yeah, it went down after those games. It was,
We'll
it was
leave it at
serious.
that. We'll leave it at that. So no basketball team then? College?
No,
Or
I
professional?
mean, I've always been a UConn fan.
Okay.
So I enjoy UConn basketball. Like if you ask me what college team I root for UConn.
Yep.
So those my peeps.
Nice.
Professionally, again, we haven't really talked about my career, but I've bounced around a little bit.
Yeah.
So I've worked with a couple of different NBA teams. And currently I don't have one because my answer used to be, well, whoever has my paycheck has my loyalty
you.
because they paying my bills. So we not even gonna act like we like somebody else. But of course, I grew up at the time when Michael Jordan and the Bulls was the team.
Right.
So I was a Bulls fan for the longest because I loved that team. Like I
Mhm.
just did. So when I started working in the industry, it was just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. And so I started with the Charlotte Bobcats.
Yeah.
So that was my team because they was paying my bills.
Yep.
Then I went to Washington Wizards. That was my team because they was paying my bills.
Okay.
Then I went to the Brooklyn Nets. And that was my team because they was paying my bills. Uh, so once I left a venue that had a basketball team, I went back to Charlotte, and I was a Charlotte Hornets fan because I love me some Kemba Walker. I
Really?
got to see him play in college.
UConn too. UConn.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
UConn, but I also got to see him play. I want to say it was Sweet 16. I can't remember whether it was Sweet 16 or Elite 8 that
Mhm.
they actually played when I was at Verizon Center in DC.
Okay.
So I got to see him play firsthand. So when he
Yeah.
got drafted by Charlotte, I was like, yup, there we go. So, and then he got traded
Yeah,
to
now
Boston.
you're in
He
Boston.
got traded
Now
to
he's in
Boston.
Boston,
And I was
right.
like,
That's kind of East Coast. I mean,
Still
Connecticut.
ride.
Sometimes
is, but-
they kind of claim.
but it's Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts.
They
It's
kind of.
Boston. Like, I don't root for any Boston teams.
Yeah.
Like,
mean-
that's like a New York thing. Like, you can be a fan of anybody except a Boston
Boston.
team. Like,
No, it's really
unacceptable
true.
behavior.
I lived a lot of different places, but I lived in
See?
Boston for like 3 years.
Oh.
No loyalties.
And he doesn't
anywhere.
really talk about it.
Massachusetts.
Doesn't really talk about it.
Well, the thing that I used to tell people people out there. I'm like, oh yeah, the Nuggets have a good, team. They're like, who's the Nuggets? They don't care about anybody else. West.
No.
It's like New York, maybe the Lakers. I don't know who anybody else is.
No, they don't.
Yeah. So I can get it. I understand.
It's a thing. Like in New York and Massachusetts, you can say Boston, but Massachusetts,
Right.
There you either root for Boston, but you don't root for New York.
Right.
And you either root for New York, but you don't root for Boston. It's like there's certain areas on the East Coast where that's a real thing. Philly, same thing.
Yeah.
Like Philly don't really mess with Boston or New York. Like you can be fans of other people, but not Boston or New York. Like it's like those three, it's a thing. Jersey, Jersey's just like
they free agent.
They free.
yeah. They like
They're not really a threat. They're just hanging out. Like yo,
we gonna
y'all
take
got
whoever's
y'all.
we gonna take whoever's in the middle.
Y'all
Like
good.
who winning right now to the three? That's who we gonna go
That's
with.
where they at
That's
with
where
it.
we gonna go.
Well, let's jump into your career. I mean, I do have a question, but I'm gonna start by letting you kind of tell us what your role is. What does that kind of involve? And jump into that.
So I am the director of guest services at T-Mobile Arena.
I just gave you a new title though. You're the queen too.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, go ahead.
So my responsibilities there are for the front of house team, ushers, ticket takers, and then basically management of the guest experience. So if a guest has an issue while they're inside of our building, normally it's touching one of my team members,
Okay.
which means, I have to make sure that they have the tools to assist the guests and solve their problem. And at times it gets escalated up to me where, I have to take care of it or in turn escalate it up to my leadership. But my focus is on the guest and the guest experience when they come into the building at T-Mobile.
And speaking of that, you're doing a fantastic job.
Well, thank you.
Right?
I'm sorry I never see you when you come. You're like, I'm in your house. I'm like, give me a second. I'll be right there.
I always check in. Like I don't come in people's houses without saying, "Yo, what's up?" So I hit her a quick text. Sometimes I hit her beforehand. I'm like, "Hey, there's a game today, or there's an event. I'm gonna be through." She's like, "Okay," and then, "Hey, I know you're busy."
I'm like, I'm gonna get there.
I'm gonna get there.
And then I'm like,
she hit me with, "Where you at?"
And then he's like, I'm leaving now. My bad. I'm sorry. But if he doesn't tell me he's there, I run smack dab into him. I'm like, oh, so you wasn't even gonna tell me you was here?
Oh, you just go. You just go. Oh, she gives
just
me
gonna
the
show
business.
up.
You just gonna be rude and just show up and not say nothing to nobody?
So I've been trained. I'm trainable, ladies. You know what I'm saying? I've
He
been
is.
trained. But yeah, so what I was getting at, T-Mobile's got a lot of awards just this past year as far as venues. What were some of those awards? I know just attendance, was that one of them? I'm not sure for the nights because I know it stems between there's so much going on in there.
Yes, there's a lot going on between because of course we're home to the Vegas Golden Knights. So I believe we had an attendance record with them, but we also set an attendance record in 2018 with the Kentucky Carolina game.
Oh, really?
That
Really?
we did. Yeah, we
Oh,
did
wow.
a Coaches for Cancer game
Yeah.
The little
with
exhibition that
Kentucky
they
and
do.
Carolina, and
Not
we
exhibition, but the
Yeah.
tournament thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
and we set an attendance record for that event.
Wow.
We've won venue of the year for our venue size. So yeah, we've since we've opened, we've won a couple of awards since
Where
2016.
does T-Mobile fit in the venue size? I've been there a few times, but I'm not sure.
So we're essentially a large size arena, so
Okay.
we can do anywhere, from like small, but you wouldn't pay for a building that big if you only had 5,000 people.
Right.
But we stay in the 17 to 20,000 range.
Okay.
So we can do, including standing room only, up to 20,000 people in that venue.
That's awesome.
Which during hockey playoffs,
Yeah.
we got really close a couple times.
With the standard, just
Yeah.
really close to capacity.
Yeah.
Well, they were doing standing room and
Yeah.
stuff too, weren't they?
Mhm. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
You
they-
throw in that standing room. But it also gets real tricky because you have media outlets and stuff like that you have to get space, and
Right.
Sure.
that takes away seats. So it's
And
really
then like the
tricky.
layout of the eyes versus
Versus
okay,
a concert or show.
Yeah.
Like if it's a 360 show versus a 180 or a 220 or a 240.
Wow.
Like there's all this jargon. People are like, what?
Yeah, I got
It's like,
my
what?
eyes, my eyes
glazed
just got
over already.
my
I'm
eyes just got crossed just now.
People are like, huh? What?
Right.
Yeah? What? I don't even know. I'm like, it's fine. It's okay.
So do you have a favorite crowd that comes? Do you,
No.
no.
Not at all. Let me explain something to you.
Do you have somebody that a crowd that nah?
No.
Okay.
Look, listen. It depends.
You love 'em all.
one of the one of the things you learn very quickly in what we do, and particularly what I do, because all of my responsibilities are front of house,
Right.
which means I deal with all of the guests.
Right.
It doesn't matter what event it is.
Right.
People are so different, even in a specific genre.
Sure.
Like, you will deal with groups of people, and you're like,
All right.
I tell my team all the time, you have to remember that when people come here, they're coming to enjoy themselves. They're coming for something fun. Their brain is not on.
All right.
Like, we can't expect people to read things. We can't expect people to listen.
All right.
Like, it's not what they do. And it's not intentional. It's just they're here to have a good time.
Right.
They're here with their friends. They're here with their family. They're here with their significant other. They're not thinking.
Right.
Like, if they ask you where the bathroom is 8 times, it's because they're not paying attention.
Right.
Like, we can give them as much information as we want, but then somebody's going to say, I didn't know. And you'll be like, but it's right here. They're like,
The thing that says
I
restroom.
I didn't see that.
But that goes with their whole kind of game day experience. You know? You know what I mean?
And again,
Exactly.
that's what I tell my team. It's our responsibility to help them not have to think.
Right.
So don't give them wrong directions to get to the bathroom. That this is what we're dealing with. But, I think people kind of, the one common thing that you will find is that all of the crowds are different.
Yeah.
And you can't go into any specific situation or genre and expect that what is going to happen.
Gotcha.
Because it's not. Something is going to catch you off guard.
Sure.
Something is going to be significantly different from what you thought. So you always go into a situation expecting the unexpected.
Yeah.
And so I can't say I have a favorite crowd or genre, because all of them are different.
Sure.
No matter what. I like the people that are going to be nice to me.
I agree.
I like the people that are not going to try to put my head on a platter when I go talk to them. Those are the ones I like.
So, okay, let me position it this way then.
Okay.
So, kind of backing up to like your time with the Hornets and the Bobcats, and your time at the Barclays versus the time now here in Las Vegas. All different type of locations, obviously in the country. Very different people. Did you kind of gather all those skills and they work, for each job, or is it, one job is, one location is different? I treat it a different way than
No,
another
you
one?
can't really treat them a different way, because again, you're dealing with people.
Yeah.
So I tell people all day that my job responsibility is basically, I'm a personality manager.
I like that.
Okay.
And I'm a firefighter,
Mm-hmm.
because all I do is juggle people's personalities all day.
Yeah.
Whether it's my team members, whether it's the guests, whether it's my coworkers, whether it is, whatever team is in the
Staff.
building, or whatever client we have.
Yeah.
That's what my responsibility is. It is to manage the personalities of all of those people and try to make sure we get a win-win situation for everyone.
Right.
Well,
No matter what's going on.
They're
So,
hot by the time you get to them, though, anyway,
Yeah.
right?
usually
Usually by the time they get to you, it's
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. At times, yes.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes, I'm just walking around and I see a person looking like their head is about to explode. And so I stop and I say, can I help you?
Yeah.
And normally, if I can, get them, whether it's the information they need or the place they're looking for, they're fine.
Yeah.
But it is that person that may have been misdirected or had to talk to 6 different people that sometimes it's a little bit harder to talk off a ledge than
Yeah.
somebody that, it's their first issue and we nail it off the back. So
Everybody's got to be a VIP.
listen,
especially in Vegas.
listen, whether you paid $10 or $10,000,
Right.
listen, you better treat me like I paid $20,000. That's what everyone expects, and
Right.
that's what we got to give them.
Like their names on the building, right?
Yes. Don't you know I have T-Mobile service, and we get that. We get that. I'm gonna cancel my T-Mobile plan.
Oh, I can't.
I'm not upset about that, but I think T-Mobile will be.
Right.
But we have people that will come to us and say that, and you're just like, they don't go together. Like, they go together, but they don't know that,
Uh,
but
so,
you get that.
That's a good one.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Listen,
And they be so serious too when they say it. Too,
so
right?
serious, so serious, and my face has to not show that I'm confused
That's
by
too
their
much.
statement.
Okay, so T-Mobile obviously is your favorite venue,
Yeah, of
Right.
course.
but
There's no other venue other than
absolutely.
T-Mobile Arena.
But you got to give love to the ones that you've had history with.
Oh man.
So is there stories or things you like about some of the other venues? Like tell us, like maybe like a funny story about. It doesn't have to be just
Barclays. I
Yeah.
want to hear about
Barclays.
Barclays.
Okay, there you go.
Barclays was a wonderful experience. So in my career, I have to say that I am very blessed because I've had the ability to essentially open up 4 venues.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, I've opened up 4 venues, 4 venues, and assist with some major events at a 5th venue. So I've done that, and then I've had 2 venues where they've gone through a basically like a drastic change. So I've come in at a time of change, and so I've been able to be instrumental in that change that is happening.
Okay.
So going into Barclays Center, I went there when it opened. It was a brand new venue. It was in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
So people were very prideful
Right.
about the fact that they were opening this building in Brooklyn. And I
Brooklyn
want to
stand
say
up.
pretty much. Pretty much. They love them some Barclays Center. And the other thing about it was that 98% of the staff was from Brooklyn. So it
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
like they weren't hiring people to come in from Manhattan
Yeah.
or from the Bronx. Like they were hiring people that lived in Brooklyn.
That's interesting.
So this was these were hometown people,
Right.
Mhm.
that were going to be there. And it was just, I don't even know how to explain what we did there because if for anybody that doesn't know, the building opened with 7 JayZ shows. But it wasn't 7 JayZ shows back to back. It was like 4 and then 2 events in the middle and then 3 shows.
Wow.
So, yeah. But opening night, I'll tell you this is one of the funniest stories. I'm telling you, if venue people ever got to write books or like they did a show,
Sure.
like it would be hilarious.
Okay.
But one of the funniest things was JayZ's first show.
All right.
So this was in 2013 is when that building opened. 2013, I want to say, is when the building opened. I should know this by heart, but I think it was 2013. So we all know where Jay was in 2013. I mean, he was at the pinnacle of his career.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mhm.
he already had enough albums and airplay and clout. I mean, it's JayZ.
Right.
He was making strategic moves at that point.
yes, he
like
was.
real moves.
Like Douce and Amade Brignot.
Ooh.
I just want to make sure you know that
Oh, like
that's
that?
how you say it, Amade
Oh.
Brignot.
Oh,
I didn't know.
You
Did not
look,
know.
I feel educated.
Listen,
and
me-
I couldn't say it again if I needed to.
let me
All right,
explain
maybe
something to
after a
you.
couple of these.
You couldn't. It wasn't called Ace of Spades. It was called Amade Brignot,
Oh,
and you had to know how to say it and say it appropriately,
Mm.
okay.
or else you couldn't work in the space where that was being
Well, it was
served.
served.
Okay.
Popcorn.
But so
Wow.
opening night of JayZ was gonna be the highlight because we're in Brooklyn. That's his hometown. Where my staff was so shocked when they saw the crowd because there were so many white people.
Yeah.
And they
yeah.
were like,
That's
why are all these white people here? I was like,
The money. They got the money. To...
look, I'm looking at them like they came to see JayZ.
That's too funny.
They were like, but I don't understand. I'm like,
Yeah.
like not on opening night. Like
Look.
like.
who did y'all think were gonna be here? Like they did not understand the magnitude
Yeah.
of like what
Platform.
that was or who he was.
Right.
I think that's something that a lot of times people don't understand about artists when they come into spaces. Again, going back to people having a certain idea about who is going to be at a specific
venue.
show
Man.
for it opens people's eyes. Just
Yeah.
they're like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
You just had an experience with that, right? Didn't you go to like a young? Well, who was it? What concert?
At T-Mobile, Travis Scott.
Travis
Oh
Scott.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he was
And I was
telling about your experience.
Go
We just
ahead,
talked
tell me about it.
this.
the service was great.
I know it was. I know it was.
No, but I sat in the and I like Travis Scott, and you know I like his music. Then I sat there and
You looked
I
around.
looked around. I said, okay, he about 18, and old girl's like 14. And like I felt like, dang, I need to take my belt off, like here soon, quickly. Yeah,
You felt like I need to
Yeah.
call your mama
right. And I said,
or your daddy.
maybe Travis Scott ain't been rapping to me this whole time.
But that's what people don't get that.
Right.
My son is 25.
Right.
And so when he turned 13, I was still in Charlotte, and we had Lil Wayne coming, and I got him and his friends tickets to Lil Wayne, so it was 4 of them. So they go to the Lil Wayne show. You know, they came in kind of, lights were already down, but you know, they get in, they get to their seats, they enjoy the show. Lights come up, they looking around.
Mhm.
I came to pick them up from their seats. My son looks at me and he goes, "Mommy, where all the black people at?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
What year was that?
I
That
don't
was
know- look, I don't know what to tell you, son. Like, I don't. They didn't buy.
I can't help you with that one.
They
huh?
didn't buy tickets.
Right. Did you
Yeah.
enjoy the show?
Look, they didn't buy tickets.
Yeah.
I was like, you, my friend, need to understand how lucky you are right now.
There
You
you
are
go.
blessed.
right.
You and your 3 friends got tickets to come to Lil Wayne. Now, there were people there his age.
Right.
They just didn't look like him.
Yeah.
And he was confused.
Well, it's not hip hop music; it's popular music. Now, so
Exactly.
people have to understand.
They
that.
don't know that, some people don't understand that there's a difference.
There's a difference.
There's a
now.
difference.
I
Big
mean, I
time.
also
Difference.
recently went to see Ja and Ashanti,
Oh, you didn't tell me about that. We're just...
and nobody was like under 40. Like,
No.
yeah,
No,
did you have
he
to
was
sit
rocking out.
Yeah,
They was rocking
correct.
out.
Did you have
Right.
to sit the top row? Did 50 Cent buy out all the tickets to the lower row, or he let it ride on this?
Funny you asked that because my wife and I was wondering because nobody was sitting in the first 3
front row.
rows. But I didn't think about it until you just said that.
50 so
Listen,
childish, but hey,
listen.
Chingy
And-
was there. That's when I was in my
in your what?
yeah. I'm not gonna say what I was in. Correct. Right.
Look, we're not gonna divulge that.
We're not gonna
Let
go
me
there.
let me ask you about Barclays and MSG. Is there a rivalry between the two? Just 'cause I know they try to make
I
it a rivalry
mean-
with basketball.
They do, but between the 2 buildings, not
No.
really.
Mhm.
I mean,
It's new versus nostalgia, right?
yeah. I mean, it's MSG.
Can't.
You can't really compare it. It has history, and that history Barclays Center, you know, will have, but never on that level.
Sure.
So you know, you can't compare the two. It's like comparing MSG to the Staples Center or anything else. You can't compare another venue
Yeah.
to MSG because it's MSG.
Yeah.
Like that's
That's MSG.
basically that's what it is. You just, it's like Yankee Stadium, or you know, the old Yankee Stadium. It's like
Oh,
you couldn't compare other stadiums. It was Yankee Stadium.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? What stadium? Yankee Stadium? Yeah, that one.
that one.
Like,
Yeah.
when you talk about arenas, MSG is the standard that everybody, you know,
Looks too. Yeah.
looks to,
I wish,
because
wish the basketball team would catch up.
Yeah, we want to pray for that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so so along with being the queen of guest services, did some of your duties. I saw you at the MLK Parade. Were you a
Mhm.
judge there? What were your duties there?
I was a judge at
Oh,
the
that's dope.
MLK Parade.
How was that?
It was good. Actually, one of my team members, one of my supervisors, he told me that he works with the parade committee, and he was like,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
I think it would be really great for you to be a judge. And I was like, okay,
Shoot
never
your
been
shot.
look,
Let's go.
never been a judge on a parade. Let's do it. Why not? Okay, I'm there. So I mean, of course I've been to tons of MLK parades, but
Right.
never been a judge in one.
There you go.
I was this time.
Was this your first time for the Vegas?
It was my
one?
first time for Vegas.
What'd you think?
It was. It was a good parade.
Surprising, isn't it?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all of the different groups that were out there and that were performing. There were a couple of schools, some babies that, I mean, it was
Just
just
grabbed you.
amazing to see. You were just like, oh, y'all Y'all are so cute and so sweet.
I love it.
Y'all are adorable. It was a little cold, a little windy.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm glad I bundled up though.
it was an overcast that day.
The
Wasn't it?
sun
Was
came
it?
out for a minute, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, "Oh, yeah," and then it went away, and I was like, "Oh, okay, never mind." So you was just playing with me real quick,
I was
just
just
checking.
playing.
just checking.
All right, so in your current career and like as you've amassed the success that you had, um, what's like some of the hurdles or some challenge? I mean, you kind of touched on a little bit, but please share, um, things you've overcome to get where you have, especially as a woman, as a black woman, and in sports.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Trifecta, right?
There
Yeah.
you go. I mean, anybody that knows anything about anything knows that no matter what industry you are in, it has been dominated for a long time by white males. That's just what it is, and it's no different in the sports industry, in the arena world. I mean, it is dominated by men and particularly white men. So, going into the situation. I actually did not want to be in guest services.
Oh, really?
No, that was not my goal when I started my career.
What?
I actually wanted to be in PR.
Really?
Yeah. I get my degree is in public relations.
Yeah. I saw that.
My degree is in communications with
Communications.
a focus in public relations. And so that's what I wanted to do. And I kind of fell into guest services because they were opening up what is now Spectrum Center
Okay.
in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was Time Warner Cable Arena.
Yep.
So I got to get all my names straight because everybody's changing their names recently.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what is it
Sponsorship
called
deals are
now?
up, you know what I
Listen,
mean?
I'm like, what is it called now?
Right.
So that venue was opening, and I was like, this is probably a great opportunity for me to try to get in because again, like everybody's like, my industry is small. All industries are small.
Yeah.
All of them are. And it's like, so how do you get in? So I went to interviews for Time Warner Cable Arena,
Okay.
and I ended up getting hired in the guest services department at that venue. And my boss at the time, wonderful woman, and is still my mentor. Her name is Marlene Hendricks. She's
Shout
amazing.
out to Marlene.
So I started working with her, and we don't have time, but she thought I was crazy when she first hired me.
Do tell.
No. Look, I have some amazing stories, but we would need to extend the podcast
Okay, so we bringing her back on. So you coming back
Yeah.
for
So,
part 2?
anytime.
Yes.
So, but I love Marlene. She is an amazing woman. For one, all that she does in the industry, but she literally she put me on. But when I started working with her, I told her what my interest was. So she said, "All right, let me see what I can do." So she set up an opportunity for me to shadow with the PR department for the Charlotte Bobcats.
Okay.
Because they were the Bobcats at the time, not the Hornets. So I got the opportunity to shadow the PR team. And I got done and I said, "Oh, I don't want to do that."
Really?
No, sir.
Really?
So that's out.
Let me explain something to you.
Interesting.
Let me talk to you about what sports PR is.
Oh, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Okay? They are babysitters.
Yeah. For sure.
They are babysitters for grown men and grown women. That's what they do. They
That's all
run
bad.
around.
Okay.
Those poor people run around like making all kinds of comments and statements for things that they did or didn't do, and making sure they get places on time, making
Right.
sure they say the right thing. I'm like, oh no, I don't.
Not
Nope.
for me.
That wasn't
Nope.
you?
I don't want to do it. That was it. I was like, no, this is not what I thought it was gonna be.
So she was saving
Yeah.
grace, boy.
Oh, let me tell you. I'd have got in there and been like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I don't know. So, bless the heart of PR people in sports everywhere, because your job is not an easy one. Okay? You are a babysitter.
Shout
Or
out to the
adults.
boy.
Oh, I can't
Oh,
say
who-
no.
who you
I'm a
got?
babysitter.
Oh, my boy, RG. Rasan. He's one of my best friends. He works for the Kings PR. So
Oh, okay.
So he,
Yeah.
I'm
he
praying
feels
for
that.
him.
Praying for him.
Listen, it's a real thing.
yeah.
It's a real thing. And I mean, they built some really great relationships, but it's not easy. Like anytime a player says something or does something, they have to prepare that person to, speak to people about it, whether they want to or not a lot of times.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's really hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You
bless
touched on
their
the word
hearts.
relationships, and tell me about how important it is to build those relationships on your way up. A lot of
It's extremely important.
Yeah.
I mean, again, all industries are tight knit. Our industry is no different.
Right.
Sports is no different. Whether you're working in a venue or whether you're working for a team, they all collaborate so much that if you don't have the right attitude and the right demeanor going into a situation, it can be the death of your career.
Right.
Getting blackballed is a real thing.
Oh, that's so real.
Okay?
Mhm.
It is a real thing.
Mhm.
So you have to be aware of that when you go into these spaces and make sure that you're building positive relationships so that if you ever do have an incident, you have enough people that have your back so that you don't get ousted
Right.
unless it's really bad. But
And
you know, it's important.
and the importance of some of our viewers are range in age, but the human interaction is very important.
It
You know,
is.
we do a lot of things with our thumbs now digitally,
No.
but the human interaction,
You
how
have to know,
important
you
is that?
have to
Yeah.
know how to talk to people. You have to know how to build relationships and rapport. And that is not something I think that is taught anymore.
Right.
That's not something that people know how to do.
Right.
I mean, even if you try to connect with people now,
Right.
in my job and in what I do, depending on their age, like it just
That connection.
it
thing
doesn't
exists.
it doesn't work because they don't know how.
Mhm.
They don't know how to carry on a conversation.
It's a lost
They
art.
they don't know when I'm asking them a question
Uh-huh.
like what I'm at, like they don't know how to answer me because they're not typing it or texting it.
Right. And then
They
even
have to talk to me in person.
and even sometimes, I mean, if in some of their interactions with guest services is through a kiosk, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
they don't even know the human to human hospitality, just the interaction of
Nope.
what that is.
Nope. And I
Yeah.
mean, and it's a real thing. It is a real thing. It is an art form and it is lost. I mean, I have people tell me all the time I could never do the job you do because of, again, the amount of people that I have to talk to,
Okay.
and the situations I have to deal with. Literally, I tell people, like with guest services, we have to know everything about everything because the guest is going to come to me if the popcorn isn't fresh. They're going to come to me if
It's,
they're,
you couldn't have said
Sorry.
anything but popcorn
There you
to
go.
this guy right here.
Listen,
He's probably gonna give
I
you
gotta
a
have the right
popcorn.
amount of
Listen.
salt. I gotta have the right amount of salt. I gotta like burn my lip a
Listen.
little bit. when I
Listen,
have to-
if it's
yeah.
too salty, if it doesn't have enough salt, if it's too buttery, doesn't have enough. If my beer is not the right temperature, if it's a little too cold, if they put a little too much head on it, if I spill like that much, we
Yeah.
got a problem. The prices is too high.
Yep.
Like if a light from the show blares in their eye, it's a thing. Like we did it.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. Like we did it.
I'm sorry.
So listen,
have you rated the popcorn in T-Mobile?
You know what? T-Mobile is probably.
listen, we got some good popcorn.
I'm telling you, top 5
Li-
popcorn that I've been to.
Let me explain something to you. That popcorn is addictive.
It is.
Okay, they bring it up to. They
I
bring
should have
us.
had you bring him some. I wasn't thinking.
Next time. Next time you guys
It
have
has
me.
To, it has to like burn the corner of my lip right here, like at the corner.
Wait.
That
I'm
means
not-
it has the right amount of salt. in
Oh,
there.
okay.
There,
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So
I
like
can't with you.
they literally bring us like a bag up to our level, like usually once a week. They bring us a fresh bag. I was in the bag today. Like we got a popcorn bowl. Like we end up having a little conversation. You know how people
Just
conversate around the
right.
coffee machine?
Uh-huh.
We conversate around the
Around
popcorn
popcorn.
bag.
God, you
Like
good.
that's the thing. That's the
Glory.
thing. There's
Thank you,
something
Lord.
about that popcorn. And I don't want the flavored. I need that butter.
Just the
and
regular,
salt.
The old,
Yes,
Like-
ma'am.
The
That's
original.
that's the popcorn I need
You
in my
don't need
life.
to- yeah, you don't need to dabble it up with all that. Just
Those ranch
Just
sprinkles.
regular.
No,
And,
no,
and
butter
caramel
popcorn,
butter,
please.
just butter, some
God, you're
salt.
good.
Butter popcorn, please. That's all I need. That's all I need. But yeah, I mean, relationships are really important
They are.
in what we do because, I mean, there's always going to be somebody vouching for you whether you know it or not.
Yeah,
That's the most important
So
thing.
that's huge.
It's
you
the
have to
people
be
that
aware
vouch
of
for
that.
you.
It's the people that vouch for
When
you
you're not in the room.
when you're not in the room.
And that's why I
Man.
always try to tell people is when you're not in the room, the people that speak up for you. 'cause
Boy,
Exactly.
I got chills. That's deep.
That's
It-
real.
It's a real
That's a
thing,
real
and
thing.
people don't believe
Sip on
that. People don't believe
I'll
that.
sip on that
I
too.
mean, everybody talks about having a mentor. And,
Mhm.
and I recently read an article that said not only do you need to have a mentor, but you need to have a sponsor. You need
Speak.
to have somebody that is going to speak up for you in those kinds of settings when decisions for promotions are being made, when decisions on where money is going to fund opportunities for whether it's conventions or conferences, no matter what it is, you need somebody that's willing to speak up for you.
100%.
And that has to be somebody that's in your space. Like
Right.
you can have a mentor anywhere. I mean, I have mentors from all throughout my career. But you have to have a mentor in your space. You have to make a relationship with one of your senior leaders
Mm-hmm.
so that that person is willing to speak for you. And the way for you to do that is by coming in and doing your job.
Yep.
And not just doing your job, going
Blowing it
above
away.
and you got to go above and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
There is no I'm gonna wait till I get the job to do the job. It don't work like that.
That's huge.
You are combating so many things these days in
Yeah.
trying to get a job. The competition is so stiff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to sit around and wait until you get the job to do the job,
You be waiting.
you're going to be waiting.
Man.
Because guess what? There's somebody willing to outwork you 7 days a week,
Mhm.
24 hours a day.
Mhm.
And you play that game if you want to. You'll be sitting in the same seat wondering why that person got promoted.
Well, hey, I'm gonna let you take a quick sip, and we're
Thank
gonna
you.
jump to this. All right. So, the big thing is we want to give a platform, and you got some new exciting stuff that I'm happy you're breaking with us. You were talking about starting, or if you've already started, kind of a new blog. So I want to kind of give you this. Tell us all about the blog, how we can support it. What's the overall goal for it.
So, as you can tell, I'm very passionate. But it's important to me. I had, again, going back to Marlene, who was absolutely wonderful. I had her as well as others that took time out to support me, to guide me, to coach me, to help me to be better
Right.
in what I do. And, that's my goal as well. I want to help others, support others. And, I've taken every opportunity that's been given to me to be a mentor to others. But recently, I was a mentor. So I'm a part of an organization called IAVM. It's the International Association of Venue Managers. So it's an association that basically focuses on venue operators. So
Okay.
if you work inside of a venue, whether it's a 20,000 seat arena, a 60,000 seat stadium, or a 2,000 seat performing arts theater, this is kind of the organization for you.
Got you.
So they have a mentorship program. And so last year I did the mentorship program. I was actually a mentor and a mentee in
Okay.
the same year. So I had a mentee, and her name is Sarah. And Sarah and I mean, you would have thought that we had known each other for years because we connected, and it was just like, like we were shooting ideas. If we had the time, we would have talked forever, but we couldn't because I had to work and she had things to do. But through conversation, we realized that there are so many people that are waiting for somebody to tell them what to do,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
tell them how to get to the next level, whether it's personally or professionally.
Yeah.
But strictly speaking, professionally at the time, we had both encountered situations before we had a call. We had both encountered situations with different people where they basically were like, well, I mean, when is somebody going to tell me what I got to do to get to that next step? And it's like, why are you waiting for somebody to tell you?
Right.
Like, I've never waited for somebody to tell me what I needed to do. And, again, I've had great opportunities. And as you can tell, it's easy for me to talk to people. I've never had an issue like I don't care what your title is. I don't care who you are. You could be the president of the company. I'm like, hey, how you doing today?
Yeah.
So, I don't have that challenge.
Right.
Nice.
But I've been in situations where I've talked with senior leaders, and what they talk about is initiative and drive, and you showing me how you want that next position or what it is. I can't give you a plan because I don't know where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know where you are.
Right.
You know what you want. So you need to make the plan to achieve your goals and tell me how I can help you. So basically, Sarah and I were talking. We're like, you know what? We need to help people because what you find is that when it comes to like finding your way, people usually relate that to entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Like if you want to be an entrepreneur, it's like these are the things that you need to do to become an entrepreneur. This is what you need to do. But nobody really talks to you about that when you don't want to be an entrepreneur. You like what you do. You like your job, your field, your career track. Everybody is not set up to be an entrepreneur.
At all?
It's just not the thing.
No.
It can't be.
At all.
Not even a little bit. Some people are going to work for somebody because, an entrepreneur, you can't do it all. You got to have somebody that works for you, right?
You do.
So we thought it would be a great idea to put together a blog that helped people to start mapping out their path, whether it's professionally or personally.
Okay.
So we have started the process of creating our blog, and it's called Owning Your Path. And so what we're going to do is focus on the tools you need in order to become successful personally or professionally. And that's how you want to be successful.
That's awesome.
Because success is different for everyone.
Yeah.
And my success does not look the same as yours or yours.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important for everybody to know. So it's setting up and giving people the tools to become successful, how they want to be successful.
Now,
successful.
is it interactive, or is it just in your field, or how? What's the
No,
dynamic
it's
of it?
we're really going to make it general, not because again, I think there is a gap in people understanding soft skills.
You think?
Everybody is like, well, I could do this. So there are technical skills. Those are technical skills or things that are specific to your job duties.
Right.
Get it. But those soft skills, again, do you understand how to talk to people? Do you know how to manage and or lead people? Do you know how to coach people? Do you know how to write a proper email?
Can you receive feedback?
Can you listen? Let me explain something to you.
Without being butthurt, right?
People don't like feedback.
They do not love feedback.
People do not like feedback.
At all.
I'm hungry for feedback.
Yeah, let me know.
I love feedback. Like first thing I do when I have a new leader is I go in and I'm like, listen, I want you to understand something. I like feedback. Don't play. I don't want to hear, well, I didn't know if I could tell you. Nah, we're not playing that game.
Right.
I need to know. And I tell my team the same thing. I have people that report up to me. I tell them, look, if you feel like there's something I could be doing better, tell me.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something that as your leader I'm not providing to you, tell me so I can grow as a leader and I can help you grow in your position. Like that's what it's about. You can't be scared somebody gonna take your job. If you ain't hiring people to take your job, how you gonna take your boss's job?
Right.
100%.
You gonna do your boss's job and your job?
Right. You gotta have growth.
Who's doing that?
Right.
Who's doing that?
Right.
No, I want you to be able to take my job, please.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you could take my job, that shows my boss I'm ready to take his job
Mm-hmm.
or her job.
Yep.
I need you to know that.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to know I'm coming for yours, just like they coming for mine. Let's be ready, everybody.
Let's go.
Let's be ready to transition,
Hot
however that
sauce.
happens.
Hot sauce.
I need you to be ready. I'm coming.
Jeez.
I love it.
I'm coming.
So, you got anything to share right now? I mean, you guys have the web address or IG or anything, or can they hit you up to find out? I mean, we have one of your social handles.
Yes.
Is
So
that the best way to do it?
My other social handle is it's on IG, and you can also find my LinkedIn page from there. But it's Ebony D Wilson. Let me tell you, trying to find a social handle.
Oh, was it rough?
Listen,
Yeah.
it's a thing.
It is a thing.
Trying to find a web address, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Like we've been working on this for a minute. It's like, can I get this address? Can I
Nope,
get
they
this
got it.
address?
They
Can I
got
get
it.
this?
Nope.
Listen, our first one, somebody done snatch it up. They not using it because
Yeah.
we looked
Mhm.
for it. They not using it. They talking about they want $30K for it. Excuse
Come
me.
on.
Domain hounds. People sit
Excuse
on
me?
them. People sit on them.
That's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a
definitely
no.
a thing. So you finally
No.
got one.
We got one. We finally got one.
Okay.
So, but you hit me up on IG at Ebony D Wilson. So we're looking to launch it in February. We were finally able to lock down the domain name.
Okay.
And now we're locking down all of our social media handles so we can get that set up and ready to go.
Right.
But yeah, we're looking to launch it in February. That's our
That's
goal
nice.
date.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So-
however we can support, like when you get those. So we'll put all your stuff in the
too.
show notes right now. But once it launched, we'll kind of do like a relaunch or a couple posts and things like that,
Well, I
Just
definitely
to-
appreciate that.
just to let the people know.
Some
because I think that's big.
You gave us
Yeah.
some nuggets. I feel like we should be raising
Listen.
an offering right now.
Listen,
Right?
Jeez.
This-
Pass the plate.
It's
Yeah.
my thing. I think it's important. Like what you guys are doing, it's important. People need to hear these things, and they
Mhm.
need to hear it from not only people like Oprah, who I love, Michelle Obama, who I love, Ellen DeGeneres. Like, they drop nuggets all the time.
Right.
But sometimes you need to hear from people you know.
Right.
And you are giving a platform to people that people know. And so they can hear these things, they can relate to these things, they understand these stories, they know where people are coming from. I'm not Oprah yet.
There it
Getting
is.
there.
See,
There
I
it
said
is.
yet,
Hey, like you said, Oprah, watch
But-
out. She's
Well,
gunning for your
come for
job.
that.
Oprah,
Come from that
you want to
check.
give me a show?
Move over,
Um,
Gail.
Look, just, hey, I'm coming. But it's important to allow for people to hear these stories, hear it from people that they can relate to,
Mhm.
and know that it's a thing. Like, people look at me and they look at where I am and they make assumptions, and they make assumptions a lot. I literally had somebody tell me, you don't understand how it, excuse you, never,
Pause, like
Yeah,
you-
gotta say
yeah,
that.
right.
you never start a story with anybody with you don't know, because
Mhm.
unless you know that person's full and entire path and background, I
You don't
suggest
know.
those words not come out of your mouth, because you don't know what I've been through or what I've done.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. When I'm at work, yes, I'm at work. I do my thing at work. I'm a boss at work. Yes, I am. That's what I do. You don't know how I got there.
Mhm.
You don't know what I had to go through.
Right.
So don't make assumptions and tell me I don't understand where you're coming from, or I haven't been through what you've been
Facts.
through. You don't know what my path was.
That's right.
So don't
There
make
it is.
assumptions.
I love it. I love it. So, even though you've done it all through this show, okay, we do have another section. Maybe you could put in a little bow for us. We like to call it the assist or dropping
Ooh.
dimes, right?
Ooh.
Keeping it little sports analogies, but just something that you want to leave the people with as far as maybe your mantra for success or how others could get success.
Okay. So, a couple of things that I believe in and I always tell people to do. One, always expect the unexpected. Okay. Never assume you know what's going to happen. You have to be prepared. So, always expect the unexpected.
Okay.
Two, never stop learning. Okay.
I love that one.
Never stop learning. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be listening to podcasts like this. It could be reading books. It doesn't matter what it is, but you should never stop learning or growing in whatever it is that you enjoy or love,
Right.
And, the last thing I would say is make sure you know who's surrounding you.
Mm.
Okay?
That team.
You need to know who your team is.
Mhm.
And that's really important. You need to surround yourself by positive and supportive people. And if that's not what you have in your circle, you need to change your circle.
Mhm.
Okay? I
Make some
have to
trades.
listen,
Mhm.
you need to make some trades.
I love it.
Okay?
I love
Free agency on Friends is open all year. Stop playing.
it. Free agency on friends. I love that.
Okay? Look, we just started 2020. There's time to drop an ad.
Right.
It's
Free
time to
agency's
drop-
open, huh?
And look,
Somebody's
it's time
going
to
to
drop
waiver
an ad.
wire.
Listen. That's what it is. Luckily,
I love it.
I've looked over my timeline, and I have to say that everybody I see on my timeline,
Uh-huh.
they doing things.
I love it.
Whether it's with their entrepreneurship and their business, or whether it's at work, or whether it's personally with their family, people are doing things, and that's what I need to see.
Yeah.
That's what motivates me. That's what gets me going. That's what keeps me hungry. And it should never be like, man, they doing this and I'm not there yet. It should be like, they doing this and I'm about to be there.
There,
Yep.
there it
I'm
is.
gonna get there.
Yep.
There it is.
You inspire me to keep going. You
Yep.
inspire me to keep being better. Like, that's all I got on my timeline.
Yes,
I
Lord.
may not be there yet, but I'm getting there.
There it is.
I'ma catch you.
Yes, Lord.
Don't sleep on it. Don't play.
Yes,
Got
Lord.
She
Got
coming
you,
for
kid.
you.
All right. Well, we're coming up on time, but you're a quote buff.
Man,
You love those quotes.
all day.
All right. So
All
can
day.
you leave us either with something that's fitting for tonight
Mm.
or your favorite quote? I'll leave it up to you. But just give us. We're going over.
Ooh.
But just yeah, go ahead. And if you got
Look,
get the
hold
phone
on,
to pull
hold
it up,
on.
like
Hold on.
just
Let
give
me.
us that.
Let me.
It's not a Drake quote.
No. There are so many out there that I think there's something to keep you motivated 365 days a year, and it don't have to be the same one.
There you go.
I mean, you see stuff, you hear stuff, and you're like, what?
So give us one.
Okay, hold on. Let me
hold on.
Let me hold on. Let me get a good one.
Yeah, no, I touched the nerve. You know.
Listen, let me
quotes, right?
Let me get a good one.
Women be shopping.
Damn,
Damn.
women be shopping.
Look, I have a whole
no sharing food in 2020.
Listen, I don't share food.
Or yep.
There it is.
Look, I don't share food.
You
I
should have
love
ordered it if you wanted.
Look,
Right.
You should have.
Mhm.
I might give you a little taste, but
not even that.
maybe. Like I literally for my IG, I have one that says I have one saved list that's attitudes to live by. I have another one that's quotes. I have another one that's boss life. Look, it's a thing.
All right, let's hit us
Quotes are a
up with
thing.
one.
All right, here we go. All right, this is a good one.
Okay, let's get it.
Don't be busy, be productive. And I think that's good.
Boom.
That works for today.
There it is.
Don't be busy, be productive.
All right, I love that. All right, well, with that, man, we definitely want to thank our guest, Miss Ebony Wilson. She really tore it up today. You know what I mean? She gave you that flavor. We'll definitely put those additional notes in our show notes. And just want to thank the people for listening, man. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Hope you enjoyed the content we bring here in Black on Sports. Follow us on all of our platforms, YouTube, IG, Twitter, and we're getting the Facebook up. And let us know what you think about the show. And just know we're rooting for everybody. Where's my drop? Oh,
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.